I'm Emma, a medical doctor and a survivor of domestic violence and narcissistic abuse. Get ready, because in this video I will debunk some common myths about living with and leaving abusers. Firstly, the start of the relationship. On contrary to what you might have thought, the relationship with an abuser does not start with him administering some physical violence. It starts in the most amazing way. It's like meeting Leonardo DiCaprio, but without having Lyle following you around. He takes you out, he's attentive, he listens and hangs to your every word. My husband would run out of the restaurant where we were seated if he saw a salesperson walking outside with flowers, and he would come in with a rose and just put it next to my plate. It starts with gifts. It starts with him wanting to be with you every waking moment. It starts with him calling you, texting you lovely messages. Find yourself letting down your guard and letting him come closer. He is your best friend and the love of your life. And together you create the amazing plans for what your future will look like. So, are there no signs that this person might be abusive? Yes, there are. But to recognize them, you need to have the education about abuse and the red flags that you can see in the beginning. Moving too fast and being too intense, coming really close to you in a short time period, that is actually a red flag. Did you know that? It sweeps you off your feet. There is some wisdom in the saying that love is blind. The warm and fuzzy feelings make you not think that clearly. Other common red flags in the beginning can be that he might be rude to service staff and waiters. He might talk badly about his ex partners, blaming them for things going wrong in the relationship. And he might say to you that you would never disappoint me like that, would you? There also might sneak in a little bit of criticism here and there. You know the scene in the movie Titanic where Jack and Rose dances, and but in this movie, Jack might say, "Oh, what have you eaten today, Rose? Did you eat some garlic or some shrimps?" And even though she just brushed her teeth before she went on the date with him, making her feel a bit self-conscious. Now, in this stage, could you put in a boundary here? Would it be easy to say to someone that you cannot criticize me? I didn't. It's like you're being invited to move into this beautiful villa. There are rose bushes outside of the house, and the yard is large and beautiful. The inside is charming as well. It has these old wooden panels and lovely decorations. Granted, there are some things that need to be fixed up, but you know that you're up for the challenge. You're on board, and the relationship moves into the next phase. Here, you might start to see an anger outburst that shocks you. You were planning to go out with your girlfriends for a night out, and your partner gets really angry. He says that he's coming down with a cold, and you don't even care about him. And then he calls you a bad name. You're kind of put off by this behavior, thinking that, why am I even in this relationship? Who is he? You might choose to go out with your girlfriends anyway. And the next day, he shows up outside of your house with a gift for you. It's a golden necklace with a heart. He puts his hands on your face and he says, "Can you forgive me? I don't know what got into me yesterday. I had such a long day at work and I really missed you and I wanted to be with you. But I was totally out of line when I yelled at you. Please forgive me." Turns out that villa did have some more work that needs to be done. Are you still up for it? You're a bit hesitant, but the charming guy is back, and things are really great. You're living your dream. You become a bit more careful around him. It seems like his mood is depending on how you're behaving, but isn't that a sign that he really loves you? Now a year has passed. You're really starting to love him. You couldn't imagine your life without him. He has become such a big part of it. But something is wrong because he has been withdrawing from you. He doesn't want to see you that often, and his texts and calls are becoming a bit less. You're wondering if he is overworked or if he is depressed. You're afraid that he might not be that into you anymore. Find yourself thinking about him a lot, thinking about ways to bring him out of the depressive state and about ways to strengthen your relationship. You might do a bit of Googling here. You might start to put in more effort into your appearance, worrying about your weight or being a bit more self conscious. He seems to notice that you're putting in the effort. He appreciates it. The long cuddles and the loving words returns. But there always seems to be a crisis around him. He is having a hard time at work. Sometimes he comes home in a bad mood, telling you how something has really irritated him. You listen to him and try to cheer him up. Usually it works, but sometimes it doesn't. Then you just have to wait it out. His moods usually pass in a day or two. So far, would you set a boundary? What kind of boundary would that be? More time passes. His mood are continuing to change. Sometimes he's so caring that it really touches your heart. When I was pregnant, my husband would carefully lead me to a free seat in the tram. He would then not sit next to me, but stand in front of me to protect me so that none of the passengers would accidentally bump into my stomach. Your partner may be a bit overprotecting, but isn't it in a romantic kind of way? He gets really jealous if he knows that you have spoken to another man. He suspects that you might be having an affair with someone else, and he asks to check your phone. You want to show him that you are being honest, and you let him. He knows your password now, and every now and then he goes through your phone, but you don't have anything to hide, so you don't say anything about it. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the angry episodes, they are not getting more frequent, but when he is angry, he can be really mean. He has called you some nasty words that you have never heard before in your life. Sometimes he makes you cry. When you cry, he gets really irritated. He says that you are too sensitive and that you are trying to guilt him by crying. When he does say mean things, you start to go into the bathroom where you can cry and regain your composure so it doesn't turn into a fight. Usually, his mood clear up in a little bit. Fast forward, you are expecting your first baby. Your husband says that you don't need to worry about work. I will always take care of you. It's my responsibility as a husband to make sure that you and my kids are safe and that you have everything you need. If I'm not able to do so, that means that I'm a failure as a man. Never worry about the economy. I can take any work. I can even work as a cleaning man. As long as I live, you don't have to worry about anything. It makes you feel safe when he says things like that. It feels good to not have to worry about the future and to not be alone in life. You allow him to take over more of the responsibility regarding the finances, and you focus on kids and a home. Your first kid has been born. First weeks were really sweet. Your husband couldn't get enough of the two of you. He wouldn't even leave you alone at bath time, where he would be there and cuddle the baby and sing to it. But you're a bit worried because since a week now, that loveliness has disappeared and your husband is not at home that much. He seems to be doing something on his phone. You have seen that he is taking it into the bathroom. One time he came home and he smelled of perfume. You worried that he might be cheating. You confronted him about it, but he just dismissed you and he said that, oh, I went to pick up my brother and his wife at the airport and I hugged his wife. Apparently, she had some perfume on. Come on, you're really jealous. Is the hormones getting to your head? You want to trust him. He seems to not be that attracted to you anymore. Is it the weight you have gained during pregnancy? You are putting more effort into your appearance again and trying to lose the baby weight. You are also not sleeping that well at night because of the baby screaming. Your husband has moved into the other room to not be disturbed. He is out of work now, but he is applying for work every day. He is really trying hard. You're worried about the finances, but your husband says that everything will be fine, just as long as you don't buy anything unnecessary. In fact, it's better if he does all the shopping. He can buy the groceries that you need. He's a bit irritated and stressed, and the anger is returning again. You know that it is a lot of responsibility and pressure on him, and that he is really worried about the fact that he doesn't have a job now. You cut him some slack. Another month passes. You're really enjoying the kid, your new baby. One day, when your husband is taking a shower, his cell phone beeps, and you see a message from another woman who is saying that she will be late to their date. You keep staring at the phone, not believing what you have seen. When your husband comes out of the shower, you confront him, asking him how he can be cheating on you when you are at home with his young son. He tells you to shut up. You start to cry. He says that he needs to go, and he then leaves. You have a hard time not crying for the days to come. Your husband is avoiding you and he is refusing to speak with you. You are thinking that you might want to leave. And then you are looking at your young son, 3 months of age, and wondering where you would go. You've been through a divorce in your parents' relationship, and you know how that affected you. Third day, you ask your husband, please sit down and talk to you. You have to resolve this matter. He sits down quietly and listens as you pour your heart out to him. You let him know about all your worries and insecurities and how much you love him and how much you want to make things work. He listens to you and he says, are you done? No, I'm not done. And you tell him some more issues. And you tell him that you feel that he is betraying you and leaving you alone with the responsibility of the kid and that he's not investing in the relationship. Your husband's response is, do you know the woman that sent me the text? That was actually an employer that might want to hire me. But I was so upset after you started to argue with me that I couldn't go to that interview. You never trust me. You seem to really have some issues. That's right, I leave you with the kid. You are nursing him. I can't take him. And I really need to focus on finding a job. I can't believe this. You are constantly making up things to argue about and fight about. You are destroying our relationship. You are destroying our marriage. What kind of a mother and woman are you? When you hear his side of the story, you really feel stupid. It seems like he is right, and you apologize. You don't want to ruin the marriage, and you do have some insecurities that you need to work on. You tell yourself that you will do better next time and that you will not cause an argument. And your husband is really trying now. He is at home more and he is taking the baby so that you can take a nap in the afternoon. You can hear him play with the baby and cuddling him in the living room. And you're so happy that you didn't up and leave when you were thinking about it. What could be worth more than hearing the first laugh of your young son together with his father? But things keep nagging you. It's the thing with the cell phone again. And last Saturday, your husband didn't come home until 4 a.m. You tried to call him several times, but there was no response. When he finally came home, he told you that he went out with some friends. He didn't see your calls. He thought that you would be asleep. He's also more tense again and irritated. He's complaining about how you do things at home. He's complaining about you leaving the dishes in the sink. He says that you need to take care of them right away because it starts to smell in here. You make sure to take care of the dishes right after dinner. It's unnecessary to fight over such a small thing. A call from an old friend from school. She says that she's not sure if it's the right thing to tell you, but she has seen your husband together with another woman. They were holding hands. The new knowledge burns inside of you. You start to get heart palpitations and you can't sleep. You once again start to examine all the evidence and you realize that he is probably cheating on you. There is no other explanation. That night, when he comes home, you say to him that he needs to pack his things and get out of there. He tells you that you can leave. It's his apartment. You can leave the apartment and you leave the baby with him. Get out now. You walk into the room where your son is sleeping. But your husband stops you and he shoves you so hard that the back of your head hits the corner of the bookshelf. You're laying on the floor, dizzy, and from the back of your head there is blood pouring out on the carpet. Your husband says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And he runs into the kitchen to get a bag of frozen peas. He comes back and holds you and cuddles you, and he holds the bag of frozen peas to your head. He's telling you that, "I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me?" It is true that he has been seeing another woman, but they have not done anything intimate, and he will not see her anymore. It was an old friend from high school. He promises you. He looks into your eyes and he says, I swear on the life of my son, I will not see her anymore. The only thing that matters to me is you and our child." Being in an abusive relationship is like moving into that lovely villa with the rose bushes and thinking that it is in need of a small renovation job, but discovering that planks are rotten and the walls are actually caving in on some places. During a period of years, parts of the house collapses. You can no longer use the back room and you take the TV into the kitchen because the living room is so moist. You don't remember how life was before the relationship. You don't remember how it was like to live in a normal house. That is called normalization. At this stage in the relationship, there are so many things that are binding you to him. It's the finances, it's the kids, it's your love, It's the hope that he will keep his promises, and it's the hope that your future will be better. It's the hope that he can change, and he says that he really is working on it. It's the confusion. You are not sure why things are not working out, and you are blaming yourself. You are not able to lose the weight. You are not able to keep yourself from starting arguments. You don't have the energy that you used to put into the relationship. Perhaps that is why things are not working out. You are trying to cope with the situation, and you are trying to find a solution, and you don't know that the person, the other part in the relationship, is not trying to do that. If you're not educated about abuse and you don't know the red flags, you don't recognize that you are in an abusive relationship until you are very deeply in it. And you don't know that the abuser is there taking advantage of you, pushing you down, breaking you down on purpose. You think that this person loves you. He's not your abuser, he's your husband. There's also one more thing that keeps you stuck in one of these relationships, and this is the fear of venturing out. It can be the fear of how you would fend for yourself, how you would both work and take care of the kids, and the fear of what he will do if you try to leave. He might even have told you something, planted a seed in your mind that leaving him is not an option. He might have made you promise to never leave, or he has said that you can't be responsible for what he would do if you ever were to leave. You cannot put in a boundary with an abuser to prevent him from acting a certain way. The only boundary you can put in is to remove yourself either from the relationship or from the situation if he starts a conflict. You can tell him that I don't want to argue and you can leave the room. Of course, there is no guarantee that he won't follow you. If you put a lot of pressure into getting him to agree to one boundary, he will turn his attention for a while to another area of the relationship. You might focus on the cheating, while he is taking more control of the finances and restricting your movements. He might say that, okay, so if I can't talk with other women, then you can talk to other men. So the abuser always wins. For as long as you are in the relationship with him, he wins because it is his game. If you are in an abusive relationship, please reach out for help. If you are in immediate danger, you can call the police. If you liked the video, I will put my playlist up here. I am Emma, holding up a light over the bridge. Please be safe, take care, and have a great day.